So I thought I'd make this video because I don't see a lot on the Triton 5.4s. Now, it started with a temperature issue, not quite overheating, but while driving down the road, the temperature hand would peg out on hot, the oil light would come on, but the oil pressure gauge would show normal pressure. You could turn the ignition off and back on, and it would correct the problem. It could last a week, could last a day. When I say turn the ignition off, just basically cycling. It wouldn't matter if you're in town at 30 miles an hour or on the interstate at 80. When the temperature hand would peg out, the oil light would come on. The oil pressure light, or the oil pressure gauge, was normal. You can put it in neutral, turn the key off, which would turn the engine off, restart the vehicle, put it back in drive immediately. The whole process takes 3 seconds. It would rectify the situation. The problem was a coolant head temp sensor, which is down under the plenum. This is the wire for it, and you can't see it, but it's right in front of my finger underneath here. I'm touching it now. To get to it, take the alternator off. It's a 3/4 inch socket. You may have to heat it up with a torch and bend it about a 45-degree angle, and it'll come right out. It's a single plug, 2-pin. Unplug it, the wrench will slip over it. There's not enough room for a socket, even with a swivel. It just unscrews, screws back in, that's it. Well, I had another issue after correcting that one. The water pump has a small leak, just enough to make everything wet around it, not enough to see drips under the vehicle. So we're replacing the water pump, and it's actually quite easy. Just remove your air cleaner, remove the fan. Those are the tools that I use. You put the crescent wrench on it. Yeah, that's a rather large crescent wrench. And they're right-handed threads. Some of them are left. Right-handed threads means it tightens and loosens like every other screw you're used to. Left-hand thread, to take it off, you would turn it the way you normally tighten. But like I say, these on the 5.4s, most of them are right-hand thread. On the shroud, it'll tell you right there, right-hand thread. Once you break it loose, it's machined very well, so it comes off really easy. You take off the upper radiator hose, the tube that goes to the overflow bottle. There are 2 screws, one here, or bolts, one there, and it just lifts straight out. You got to take the fan and the shroud out at one time. Then you take your belt off. The tensioner's right there. It's really easy. And then you have 4 bolts on the pulley that goes to the water pump itself, and you may have to pry a little bit. Don't pry against the water pump, pry against the bolts if you need to. Once you get it off, it's really easy. Just take the bolts out. Hope this helps.